Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh, and a very good day, everyone. Thank you for tuning in to the third series of our SHENA webinar held in conjunction with the World Day for Safety and Health at Work 2025. My name is Nadzirul Jailaini from the Compliance and International Division of SHENA. Today's webinar is titled Managing Heat Stress in the Workplace, where I will be sharing key strategies primarily based on our industry guidance notes issued in March last year. This session focuses on addressing heat stress in the workplace, where it is an emerging occupational health hazard driven by the changing and increasingly hot and dry weather conditions here in Brunei Darussalam. This session aims to help you understand the key areas of heat stress and its contributing factors, the health effects and occupations at risk, the global and national perspectives of heat stress, legal duties under the Workplace Safety and Health Act, Chapter 277, as well as the risk management and practical control measures for heat stress. Before we begin, I would like to draw your attention to the definition of heat stress. Heat stress is a condition when the accumulation of heat in the body exceeds the body's natural ability to remove the excess body heat, leading to impaired body functions once core temperature rises above the normal range of 36.1 degrees Celsius to 37.2 degrees Celsius. Heat stress is mainly focused and caused by three factors. The first one is working environment, such as high ambient temperatures and heat exposures from machines or equipment. The second factor is the nature of the work, how hard the work is, how long the work lasts, as well as the clothing or the PPE that the workers are wearing. The third is the worker health conditions, whether the worker is used to working in the heat, in other words, acclimatization, nutrition and hydration level, medical issues or on medications, level of fatigue, and how motivated the worker himself. It is vital to consider these three factors when managing heat stress. Heat stress can escalate quickly. Workers may experience four main health effects, increasing in its severity. The first is heat rash, followed by heat cramps, heat exhaustion, and heat stroke, which is a life-threatening emergency. These effects can occur immediately with increasing exposure. Recognizing the symptoms early can save lives. Chronic exposure may also lead to damage of vital organs such as the kidney and heart issues. As outlined in our IGN, here is the list of occupations at risk of heat stress, including workers from outdoor construction work, oil and gas workers from onshore and offshore platforms, agricultural and forestry settings, as well as hot indoor factory environments. According to a 2024 report by International Labour Organization, highlights the seriousness of climate change and heat exposure in the workplace. Over 70% of the global workforce are exposed to excessive heat. This exposure contributes to 22.85 million fatal injuries and approximately 18,000 deaths annually. Proper heat stress management could have prevented USD 361 billion in global losses. In Brunei, over the past 5 years, the Occupational Health Division of Ministry of Health and SHENA have received 5 confirmed cases of heat stress and exhaustion. On 7 May 2025, the Brunei Darussalam Meteorological Department BDMD announced that the country is in an inter-monsoon period with excessive hot weather, with temperatures reaching 35 degrees Celsius or higher since 5 May 2025. Additionally, recent heavy showers have also caused flash floods. In response, SHENA has recently issued a note to industry NTI reminding all relevant duty holders to take extra precautions against heat stress and flash flood risk, supported by relevant guidance materials to support compliance. Here's a case study from Brunei Darussalam. A worker collapsed during a demolition job and was diagnosed with heat-related illness. Contributing factors to this include lack of rest, inadequate hydration, and hot conditions. This highlights the importance of ventilated rest areas, proper hydration, and sufficient rest, which shall be included in their heat stress management. Under the Workplace Safety and Health Act, Chapter 277, all duty holders from occupiers, employers, principals, self-employed persons are legally required to manage workplace risk, and these include heat stress risk. Under Section 11 of Workplace Safety and Health Act, Chapter 277, an occupier must ensure as far as reasonably practicable that the workplace, access routes, and any equipment or hazardous substances, and this includes any machinery or equipment which can release heat, within the workplace are safe and without risk to the health for all persons on the premises. In addition, employers have duties under the Section 12 of Workplace Safety and Health Act to provide safe working environment, including adequate facilities for workers' welfare, persons are not exposed to the hazards at work, adequate measures for machinery, equipment, and hazardous substance, to develop and implement emergency procedures, as well as to provide adequate instruction, information, training, and supervision (IITS). In addition, self-employed person shall also ensure that the safety and health of persons not being his employees, such as visitors or pedestrians passing by. So as principle, under the Section 14 and 14A of Workplace Safety and Health Act, in addition to similar duties of employers, principals shall also ensure the contractors engaged have conducted adequate safety and health measures as listed under the specific section of Workplace Safety and Health Act, Chapter 277. As persons at work, he or she shall also use the personal protective equipment provided and be cooperative with the employer or principal, not recklessly endanger himself or others in the workplace. Under the Workplace Safety and Health Risk Management Regulations, employers, self-employed persons, and principals must also take reasonably practicable steps to eliminate foreseeable risk, and this includes health-related risk. If elimination is not possible, they must minimize the risk and implement safe work procedures to control them. Under the Regulation 10 of Workplace Safety and Health General Provisions Regulations, occupiers must take all reasonably practicable measures to protect workers from excessive heat in the workplace. To support compliance with these legislations, SHENA recently has issued NTI to remind all relevant duty holders to manage risks associated with heat stress and flash floods, as well as we have developed industry guidance notes on managing heat stress risk, which includes the key strategies in managing heat stress, as well as we also develop bilingual posters. Both Malay and English version are available and can be downloaded from our SHENA website. To manage workplace heat stress effectively, you shall be conducting the risk assessment, which shall also include heat-related matters covering both outdoor and indoor heat sources. You should also identify vulnerable workers, example, new returning or unacclimatized ill or workers with personal risk factors. Where practicable, you should also monitor the heat stress indices to guide you in introducing timely control measures. Control measures should begin with eliminating or substituting work methods to remove or reduce heat. If it's not feasible, you may proceed with other controls based on the hierarchy of controls. Engineering controls to manage heat stress includes proper ventilation to improve airflow, such as using fans and AC. Second is to install physical heat barriers, such as provision of shaded area. The third one is the use of mechanical aids such as trolleys to minimize manual workload under the hot environment. It is important to note that a proper risk assessment is important to determine suitable controls for each work situation. Administrative controls to manage heat stress can also include acclimatization by gradually exposing the workers to hot environments to build heat tolerance. This acclimatization concept will also be covered in the next few slides. Second is to ensure there is trained personnel and procedures in place to respond to any heat-related incidents, and this includes a proper first aid arrangements in place. Third is to educate workers and supervisors on heat stress symptoms, preventions, and response. You should also encourage early reporting of symptoms and proactive monitoring of workers' well-being. The fifth one to be considered is assigning body system concept to monitor each other, especially during high-risk activities. In addition, the following administrative controls can further help manage heat stress risk. Proper work scheduling and rotation by conducting work during cooler parts of the day and ensure that there's rotation of tasks to ensure workers have easy access to drinking water and encourage regular hydration. Health surveillance by registered medical practitioners to monitor the health of workers where required. You may also want to consider conducting regular toolbox talks to remind workers of heat stress risk and preventive measures. To also display clear signage in high-risk areas to raise awareness and prompt precautionary measures. Again, just to highlight that a proper risk assessment is essential to determine a suitable engineering and administrative controls for each work situation. PPE should be used as a last resort or in combination with higher order controls. It must be breathable, reflective, and lightweight. In high-risk areas, ventilated suits or hats may be used provided they do not introduce additional hazards such as entanglement. According to this year's ILO report on World Day for Safety and Health at Work 2025, the use of robotics and smart OSH tools may assist in heat stress management. Robotics reduce direct heat exposure by handling high-risk tasks, while smart wearable OSH tools enable early detection of heat stress through real-time health monitoring. This slide covers heat acclimatization program, which is the body's physiological adaptation to heat exposure. Typically, this heat acclimatization program is developed over 7 to 14 days of gradually increasing time in hot conditions. It is crucial for new workers from cooler climates, returning workers over 3 or more days off, and post-illness or injury workers who may need medical clearance. Proper risk assessment ensures these workers adjust safely before full exposure. The chart on the right shows the recommended minimum hourly exposure to hot environments over a 10-day period to help workers gradually acclimatize. To ensure adequate water intake, shaded water stations as well as nearby toilets should also be provided. Supervisors should encourage hourly water breaks, especially during peak heat. Simple changes like this can prevent serious health outcomes. To monitor workplace heat stress, you may use and measure heat stress indices like wet bulb globe temperature (WBGT) or humidex as part of your risk assessment. While it may not be feasible or practicable for everyone due to the high cost of the equipment or hiring a competent person, measuring heat stress indices can help measure accurately the heat stress risk and guide preventive actions, protecting health through early detection as well as maintaining productivity and reduce fatigue of the workers. WBGT is a reliable device or tool for measuring heat stress by assessing temperature, humidity, wind, and solar radiation. Readings should be logged hourly or as per your risk management plan, especially in high-risk areas. WBGT meters must be calibrated annually or as instructed by the manufacturer. These readings help set safe work rest cycles for acclimatized workers. This table outlines safe WBGT limits for both acclimatized and unacclimatized workers based on the intensity of physical task. For detailed guidance on interpreting these values and applying them in your workplace, you may refer to SHENA's IGN on managing heat stress. Besides WBGT, humidex is another tool to assess heat stress indices. Although less accurate, it combines air temperature and humidity to show how hot it feels. To use it, the first thing to do is measure the temperature and humidity, followed by calculating the dew point, and followed by computing humidex value, and lastly by referring to the chart to guide preventive actions. High humidex values mean higher heat stress risk. For full details and action plans, please refer to SHENA's IGN on managing heat stress. If a worker shows signs of heat stress, first aiders must respond immediately. Use the FVPU scale to assess consciousness and apply the 7R approach for treatment. For more details, you may refer to SHENA's IGN on managing heat stress in the workplace. Workplaces with over 25 workers, or if the workplace has machinery, equipment, or hazardous substance specified in Schedule 5 of Workplace Safety and Health Act Chapter 277, must appoint trained first aiders. Also, establishing reporting and emergency procedures as well as conducting regular heat stress drills are important. SHENA encourages the use of our self-assessment checklist to help identify and manage heat stress risk proactively on site. It supports both compliance and effective risk management, where SHENA inspectors may also ask for this completed checklist during inspection to your workplace. It is also available for download at www.shena.gov.bn. Heat stress is not just a climate issue, it's a serious and emerging occupational health hazard. Employers must take immediate and proactive action by combining engineering and administrative controls, robotics and smart wash tools, PPE, as well as monitoring devices like WBGT or humidex where practicable. It's a legal duty, and more importantly, it's the right thing to do. I would strongly suggest taking a reflection on how your organization is doing with relation to heat stress management. Managing heat stress effectively means protecting lives, sustaining productivity, and ensuring your workplace stays compliant, safe, and resilient in the face of rising temperatures. If you have further questions, feel free to scan the QR code where we will be addressing them inshallah during the live Q&A session this upcoming June. Wabillahi taufiq wal hidayah. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh, and have a good and safe day ahead.